Sometime soon after a girl experiences her first period, she is believed to be ready to start a family. On a special occasion, the groom is going to go with his groomsmen and fetch his bride. He'll bring her to his father's house because she is going to live with him in his father's house. That's how it's going to be forever and ever. Amen. Don't you ever change it. For example, Peter lived with his wife in his father Jonah's house. Peter's mother-in-law was also his aunt. The aunt that, that he gets healed by Jesus. Archaeologists have excavated this house of Peter. It's a big complex with Peter and his wife and children, together with Andrew and his wife and children living all together. In this culture, the father will live with all the sons and wives and children, married and single forever and ever, and you will never change it. And there's a church built on this complex, and you see where the floor plan is. Look how big that is. Those are peasants, by the way. 50 to 100 people can live in that compound. So moving right along, Joseph would have to go to Mary's father's house and bring her to his father's house. Then what happens? Before the celebration can commence, it has to happen. The couple is expected to have sexual relations. Then the audience waits so the couple can show them the blood-speckled sheet. Who gets to keep the blood-speckled sheet? The proof of physical virginity. The parents of the bride keep this. They are the ones who get to keep this. Deuteronomy lays it out. Chapter 22, verse 13 to 19. If a man takes a wife and he goes into her, and then he tires of her and comes to spurn her, and decides to charge her with shameful conduct, and he brings an evil name on her by saying, I took this woman, but then when I came near her, I did not find the tokens of physical virginity. Then the father of the young woman and her mother shall take out the tokens of physical virginity and bring it out to the elders of the city at the gate. There the father of the young woman shall say to the elders, I gave my daughter to this man in marriage, but he has come to dislike her and now accuses her of misconduct, saying, I did not find evidence of my daughter's physical virginity. But here is the evidence of my daughter's physical virginity. And they shall spread the cloth before the elders of the city. Then these city elders shall take the man and whip him and fine him because he gave an evil name to a physical virgin of Israel. But if the thing is true, and the tokens of the young woman's physical virginity were not found, then they shall bring out the young woman to the door of her father's house, and there the men of the city shall stone her to death, because she has wrought folly in Israel by playing the harlot in her father's house. Thus shall you purge out the evil from the midst of you. And that's a humane way. So Joseph realizes on the day of going to fetch Mary and bring her to his father's house, he's not going to be able to produce the blood-stained sheet, is he? Joseph doesn't want to shame Mary. He can't let it get that far. He doesn't want the situation of Deuteronomy to escalate to Mary's doom. These honor killings go on even today in the Middle East. There are many of these horrific stories one can recall. Once, recently, an unmarried 26-year-old college student returned to her Middle Eastern village from her exams in the the United States. At dinner, she told her father that she was pregnant. The father responded, "You know what this means?" She says, "Yes, I do. Please just don't cut off my head. Just strangle me." So they finished their dinner, and after supper that evening, the family went to the back room all together. The pregnant daughter laid down on the floor. The father took an electric cord, pulled it taut around her neck until she died. The whole family was present. When finished, he took the body, went out of his hamlet, laid the body on the street. With a loud voice, he declared, "I have removed the stain of shame from my house." And all the men in the village came out of their homes and shook hands with the man, greeted the father. And all the women came out and filed by the body. Following day, there was no trace of the existence of the young woman to be found. No photos, none of her belongings, all her internet stuff deleted, no corpse. Everything in any way associated with her person had been utterly destroyed. This is consonant with what Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 21 says in the Bible. You must purge the evil from the midst of you. That's the Bible. So this is the fate that faces Mary here at the end of Matthew chapter 1. This is the fate that Mary faces here in Matthew chapter 1. This is the text of terror. When you're reading it during Advent and Christmas time, or you're thinking about it when you're praying your rosary, realize the horror of it. How does this horrific situation get resolved? We're going to explore that next class, next week. And we'll see. Any questions, points? I'm sorry to keep you long. I won't do it next week.
Another cliffhanger.
Yeah. Did we enjoy this?
Sleep for a week.
That's the way you should do it. Are we enjoying this?
Yes. Except that it's kind of sad.
It is.
It's not like the happy Christmas feeling.
It's not the happy Christmas feelings. Yeah, that's right. It's not.
You can't even wedge happy Christmas feelings into it. And I think it just
There's happy coming.
makes
Jesus begins with a very dubious origin, with very, very lowly origins. But yet, he's the Messiah. God works in mysterious ways.